like to begin by acknowledging the traditional territory on which we are gathered today. We celebrate our graduates today in the Adidobego, known as the Place of Black Elders, in the Ojibwe and Anishinaabe language. We are uniquely situated along the Gabakanong-Zibi, the Humber River, providing an integral connection for Indigenous peoples between the northern shore of Lake Ontario and the Lake Simcoe Georgian Bay region. In honoring the land, we are walking in the moccasin tracks of our ancestors and leaving our footprints for future generations to come. For many of us gathered today here, we celebrate the achievements of students at the University of Guelph Humber. It is the occasion and the custom and the practice on occasions such as this to take a few moments for personal reflection and thanks. We are truly fortunate to live in a country where, relative to much of the world, we enjoy freedoms, security, and prosperity that so many others do not have. Therefore, I would ask that we respect the various spiritual and faith traditions represented in this room with a short period of silence at the beginning of this to mark the opening of the convocation ceremony. Thank you. Please be seated.
I officially declare the opening of this convocation ceremony. Well done.
Well, good morning. You can do better than that. What a wonderful day, one of the most anticipated days in the academic calendar. My name is John Walsh. I am the Vice Provost at the University of Guelph Humber, and it's my pleasure to welcome Brian Gray, Chair of the Board of Governors from Humber ITAL, to welcome President Vaccarino, Vice Chancellor and President of the University of Guelph, and Chris Whitaker, the President of Humber. Of course, also, I welcome all members of our platform party, our distinguished guests, and most particularly Dr. Shauna Coxon, who will be introduced more fully at a later date. I must not forget to welcome you, our graduates, and all your guests, loved ones, family members, and friends. 4 years ago, I had the opportunity to meet with nearly everyone that is sat in this room that is about to graduate. At that time, I promised that I would remind you of what I said at that particular occasion. I actually said three things. I said, first of all, in order to succeed at the University of Guelph Humber, and perhaps more widely, you have to work hard, because very, very few things can be accomplished in life without working hard. You have fulfilled that part of your bargain, otherwise you would not be sat in this room. The second thing I asked you to do was to learn to work in teams. It is the truly most transferable skill that we learn, because very, very few things in life can be achieved by working alone. And the third thing I asked you to do was to have a lot of fun. I can personally guarantee that I have observed over 4 years, many of you having lots of fun, because very few things in life can be achieved without sustained enthusiasm for what you do. You have kept your part of all those bargains, and now what a pleasure it is to introduce Dr. Vaccarino, Vice Chancellor and President of the University of Guelph, to bring greetings from the University of Guelph, one of our two great institutional partners on which everything about Guelph Humber is built. May I ask you to welcome in the traditional manner Dr. Franco Vaccarino.
Well, thank you very much, John, for that kind introduction. And welcome to all of you to your convocation. This is your big day. You've worked hard, you've persevered, and you've made it. Congratulations, well done. Now, as you're preparing for this next step on your journey, let me pick up on a theme that has been occupying my thoughts recently, and that is planning. So let me start out by asking the graduates, how many of you have plans for this summer, whether it's work, travel? Yeah, all right. So about half of the class. How many of you have no plans whatsoever? That's it. Don't be shy. Don't be shy. Yeah. There's always one or two, and there's probably 10 others that are keeping a low profile there. How many of you have plans for the next 5 years, a 5-year plan? There we go. About a third or a quarter of the class. So now I'm going to use that number 5, and we're going to go back in time to when you started here, students. So when you started, how many of you had a plan when you first arrived here at Guelph Humber campus? Right? Yeah. So now here's the question. How many of you had those plans when you first arrived totally altered once you got here, during your years here? Yeah, there's a lot of people will tell you about how their plans were totally altered. So during those years, your years here at the University of Guelph, you've learned, you've worked, and you've lived at one of Canada's most unique and innovative universities. The University of Guelph Humber Partnership brought together two of Canada's very, very top comprehensive institutions, University of Guelph and Humber College. And they came together to offer undergraduate students a way to achieve a double credential in 4 years of study. You've learned about your chosen area of study, for sure, but you've also learned and gained knowledge and understanding about other things, about yourselves, each other, the wider world on campus, and the wider world beyond. And along the way, many of the things you've learned and experienced have probably been a surprise or unexpected. And it's that unexpected piece I want to focus in on a little bit here. Because that unexpected piece poses a challenge for plans. You have your plans and then things happen. Life unfolds. Maybe you took a course that changed the way you look at certain things. Or maybe you encountered a course or a friend or a professor whose influence even led you to change your degree program and your plans entirely. So there's plans, and then there's planning and responding to those unexpected moments, moments that might just be opportunities. Now, don't get me wrong, having a plan is very important, but you have to remember a plan is static. It represents your sense of direction at one point in time. But planning and responding to opportunity is dynamic. It's what allows you to keep moving and adapting your plan as things change around you. And they will absolutely change around you. The unexpected will happen. You know, we live today in a world of unprecedented rapid change. The cycle of change is as fast as it's ever been. And that brings with it an ever shorter, what I call shelf life of knowledge and information. The amount of time that knowledge and information lasts is getting shorter and shorter as new information replaces older information at an unprecedented pace. So today, how you're adapting and planning and responding to the unexpected, including unexpected detours or change of direction, matters a great, great deal. Exactly. Now, it's surprising what you can notice when you slow down in the face of the unexpected, because the unexpected will happen. And the message really here is that when those moments happen, embrace, think about, and study, and savor those unexpected moments. And really what I'm talking about here is the process of discovery. Discovery that comes from paying very, very close attention to the unexpected. Things that you weren't really planning or counting on. Think of the times in your lives that you consider as defining moments. I'm sure that some of those were planned, but many likely were not. Things just happen. Now, I suspect that many of us can appreciate and understand the importance of adjusting to the unexpected, but the question is, and this is the challenge, how do we train or prepare for the unexpected? How do you train or prepare for things that are going to happen that you're not planning for? Well, that's where we come back to the past few years for each of you. One of the unsung benefits of education is its ability to broaden your view of things. That broadened view brings with it a greater mental capacity. In many ways, that's what a broadened view is, a broadened mental capacity to accommodate the unexpected, both good or bad. That broadened view that you've developed here in the last few years is basically your enhanced toolkit. And beyond academics alone, each of you has been provided with opportunities to broaden your capacity in other ways, socially, emotionally, and physically. As a University of Guelph Humber grad, you're uniquely positioned for career employment or to pursue further studies. During your studies here at Guelph Humber, you've completed hundreds of hours of practical work experience in the field and with industry experts. You've gained hands-on experience and developed relationships with others in your areas of interest. And for others of you preparing for postgraduate studies, your thesis courses and research assistant positions have enabled you to further refine your research and analytical skills. And that's what I'm talking about when we talk about that broadened view. Those experiences have provided you with that broadened view, which equals a broadened mental capacity that you can bring to bear on issues of the day, and you can bring to bear on those unexpected moments that may cause certain detours. You now have the tools to prepare and respond to change and to the unexpected. And that's very important because it's going to help you thrive amid what will be inevitable uncertainty. So as you head out into the wider world, take time, of course, to plan, and then, importantly, be open to adapting and changing that plan, even if it means finding opportunities masquerading as a detour or a wrong turn. Thank you very much, and good luck with your journey. And I would now like to take this opportunity to invite Chris Whitaker, President of Humber College and a great friend and colleague, to come up and say a few words.
Good morning, everyone. This is a great day of celebration. And thank you very much, Franco, for that introduction. Great to be here today. So, platform party, honored guests, faculty and staff, family, friends, and especially our graduates, it's my pleasure to bring greetings from Humber to the University of Guelph Humber graduating class of 2018. I've been a part of many convocation ceremonies on both sides of the podium. In fact, I'm on a bit of a roll this last week because I got to greet about 5,000 Humber grads as they crossed the stage, and I just took my hand out of the bucket of ice last night. I share the emotions that we're all feeling today, the pride of achievement, the joy of success, and excitement for the new beginnings and abundant possibilities that await the graduates. But before we acknowledge our graduates, let's take a moment to thank those that helped them along the way. From the dedicated faculty and staff to the family and friends, for that critical moment of support, or simply providing that comforting feeling that someone always has your back, you have played an important role in helping to get us to today. Let's give them a big round of applause, please. And now to our graduates. You did it. You've earned the spotlight you're receiving today. You've risen to the challenge of rigorous programs, persevered, made new friends, formed relationships, and learned a lot about yourself along the way. In choosing to study at the University of Guelph Humber, you made a wise decision to be part of an innovative partnership between two exceptional post-secondary institutions. You're graduating with a dual credential combining the strengths and benefits of both college and university. Over the past 16 years, the University of Guelph Humber has evolved and continues to strengthen its reputation for providing high-quality, relevant programs focused on student success. So my message today to the graduating class is simple. You are well prepared and can be confident as you look to a future where change is a constant, yet opportunity abounds. You have the skills and knowledge to thrive as adaptable and resilient lifelong learners. Let me share with you a few thoughts before you leave on some things that I hope your education here has reinforced. First, remember to think critically. to question and to challenge what some accept at face value. By now, we all know the term fake news. You leave here with a strengthened ability to make sense of the world and make the right choices to engage and make a difference for yourself and others. Second, as a UGH student, you've been part of a highly diverse and inclusive institution, so embrace diversity in all its forms, from race, religion, culture, sexuality, gender identity, age, to economic status, and more. It's up to each of us to acknowledge and seek to understand these differences and find ways to establish common ground as a source of strength. Third, find a way to get involved and give back. This can take many forms and can be as simple as paying forward a kindness that was shown to you, or getting involved in community or international development efforts, as many of our students and graduates do. Look beyond yourself and your immediate surroundings, and you'll find endless opportunities to contribute to improving the lives of others. So that's it. You're ready. Everyone here is proud of all you've achieved. Thank you, and congratulations, class of 2018.
Our next speaker is a dedicated friend and partner of the University of Guelph Humber. She is in her 21st year of policing with the Toronto Police Service and has recently been promoted to Deputy Chief of Police. Dr. Shauna Coxon has had a diverse career where she has worked in vice, youth crime, child abuse, sex crimes, human rights, professional standards, community response, and intelligence analysis. And if that wasn't enough, we have greatly benefited from her knowledge, her wisdom, and insight, as Dr. Coxon has taught courses here in the Justice Studies program at the University of Guelph Humber for more than a decade. I'm absolutely delighted, and it's a privilege to welcome Dr. Shauna Coxon to the podium.
Good morning. I'd like to start by thanking everyone here today, including Dr. Baccarino, Dr. Whitaker, Dr. Walsh, family members, friends, and of course, most importantly, all of the graduates here today. Congratulations on your tremendous accomplishment. It's amazing. I've done a fair amount of speaking engagements in my life, and many of you have had to suffer through my classes, so you know exactly what I'm talking about. But you know, doing a convocation speech is quite different, and it caused me to reflect upon my own life. What should I talk about on this special day? Because I know that for you, this is a monumental day, as it should be. A day to be proud of, a day to celebrate. I know that some of you thought that you wouldn't make it. And I know this because you kept emailing me and calling me, telling me that you were gonna quit. But you didn't, and here you are today, and you've made it. And so I am so very proud of all of you. So I spent some time reflecting on my own graduation day, and the truth is, on that day, I sat listening to all the speeches with complete dread. It seemed to me like everyone had their life all worked out, and they talked with great clarity about all of the things that they had learned and what they were going to do next. They seemed confident and accomplished. And I felt like a disaster. I had no idea what I was doing. I had 3 part-time jobs. I was driving a bus, I was waiting tables, and I was working part-time for the Children's Aid Society. I had no clarity. I felt like I had no lessons. Don't worry, it gets more uplifting. I wasn't going anywhere fast, and I had a psychology degree. That's where I was graduating from. And so we were joking, even as we were coming into the stadium that day, that we should learn to be saying, "Would you like fries with that?" And I really felt that that's kind of where I was going to land. And I was broke. There was no opportunity for me to go to graduate school or law school. And so not only was I not happy, I actually felt very upset on my graduation day. Now, on my graduation day, I was sitting next to a good friend of mine, and her dream was to become a teacher. She had applied to Teachers College twice, and she had been rejected twice. Not long after graduation, she decided that she wanted to become a police officer. At the time, the Toronto Police Service was hiring en masse. They were hiring 300 officers, and she thought that her desire to be of service could be satisfied through policing because she couldn't become a teacher. And I told her that that was the stupidest thing I'd ever heard. My dealings with the police have been quite negative as a youth. My political leanings were left of center, to say the least. And so no matter how I looked at it, it just seemed like a bad idea. It also seemed to be a really dangerous and thankless job. So who would want to do that? But she implored me to go with her to the tryouts. She said that if I was a good friend, I could at least just go with her. So I did, but I was reluctant to go, and I spent the entire time trying to talk her out of it. Some of you are smiling because you know how the story ends, but at the time I didn't. And this is how life goes. You know, 1 minute you're rocking out to Rage Against the Machine, dyeing your hair blue-black and trying to figure out where your next piercing should go. And the next minute, you're the Deputy Chief of Police of the largest municipal police service in Canada. It's a humorous and a strange journey. So to go back to the police tryouts, my friend and I went together, and the written tests and the physical tests didn't seem too hard for me. The next thing you know, I was offered an interview, and at this point for me, that was a crisis point. Remember I told you I was terrified and I had no prospects? Although I didn't really know whether or not I wanted to do it, the idea of a 5-hour panel interview seemed like good practice, even if it didn't work out. So I decided that that might be a good idea. I was worried because I had been stopped in neighborhoods growing up by the police, and not to say, hey, how's it going? You having a good day? I mean, like, stopped, and they took my name down. So I figured that I was in some kind of database that nobody had checked yet. And the second thing is that someone who I loved very dearly in my life died unexpectedly, very unexpectedly, and it really rocked my world. I'd had other people die in my life at that point, but this one just seemed so unfair because it was unexpected, and it left me questioning everything in my life. So basically, I was lost, and I didn't have anything else going on, so I thought, why not? I had this crazy theory that I should do things that people did not expect of me, that it would help me to stretch and grow, and that even if you tried something that you didn't like, that you would learn from it. Hence the piercings. So even though I thought it was a strange door to walk through and maybe didn't make a lot of sense, that made it the right door. So in the end, I was hired, and my friend was not. Yes, we're still friends today. In fact, that job I had at the Children's Aid Society, she took over that job, and what that meant was that a couple of years later, it gave her the experience she needed to be accepted to Teachers College as a mature student, and today she's a teacher. So yeah, so don't give up on your dreams, it can happen. And sometimes the path to get to where you're meant to be is a meandering path, but we both got there, and in fact, our futures were intertwined. So if you're wondering at this point why I'm oversharing with you about my life on your graduation, the reason is because the best things in my life have come through accident or failure. It's not at all what I would have expected. The best things have come through accident or failure. And I could talk today about hard work and planning, but you all know all about that because that's what got you here today. I have no doubt that you have put a lot of hard work and planning into getting yourself here. But I want you to know that unexpected things are going to happen to you, and they're going to leave you in awe. Some of those things will be awful, and some of those things will be awesome. But either way, they're going to leave you to places that you haven't even imagined yet. And during those times when things are awful, know that strange and wonderful things can come out of that. I became a police officer because I wanted to be of service, but I actually had very few prospects. I was lost, and I didn't know what to do. And I took a step forward into a new adventure. Policing has become a great love in my life, and I almost missed it. Similarly, doing my PhD was a project I gave myself because I was in the darkest period of my life. I needed to give myself something to keep my mind busy while my life was in pieces. So it wasn't really about learning and growing. I'd love to tell you it was, and certainly it did those things. But in fact, it was a survival mechanism for me at the time. And so that's how life is. You know, you lean into the skid, you shoot for the moon, and you arrive in a place that's more beautiful than what you were trying to get to begin with. And so I want to encourage you today to stay curious, to stay grateful, and to live with excited anticipation, even when things aren't going well, because incredible things can happen. Incredible things happen all the time. Your mindset will shape your world in amazing ways, and this is how it has been for me. So I look at you all here today, and I'm really excited for the future. You all have a heart for people, and this is why you gravitated toward these specific programs. That is something to be celebrated and cherished. Not everyone has a heart for service. Socially, we're in the middle of the fourth industrial revolution, and as technology takes over many jobs, the ability to work with people in a meaningful way is becoming more and more valuable. It is the exact opposite of what I was experiencing on my graduation day. And so today, your heart for service is married up with a societal shift that leaves you well-placed for the future. And I'm humbled to be here in a room full of people who want to serve others. Please remember, it is the greatest calling. And as you finish this journey, I'm sure you didn't get here alone. So to the family and friends of the graduates, I want to say thank you. You helped in so many ways to make this dream happen. This day is yours to celebrate as well. And I'd like everyone to give you a round of applause. Thank you. And graduates, this is the end of an incredible journey and the beginning of a new adventure. This is a huge accomplishment. You've earned it. It is yours forever. Everyone in this room, including me, is very proud of you. Congratulations. And last but not least, I just want to thank you for letting me celebrate with you today and to share a few words with you. It has been a great honor. Thank you.
Dr. Coxon, that was a great speech. When you get tired of your present job, perhaps you'll consider staying with our faculty as an instructor. Graduates, the moment has arrived. Will the graduating class please rise? Mr. President and Vice-Chancellor, I have the honor to present to you these scholars who have fulfilled the statutory requirements laid down by the Senate of the University of Guelph, that they may be admitted to their various and several degrees with all of the rights, privileges, and obligations appertaining thereto.
By virtue of the authority vested in me and in the University of Guelph, I hereby accept you for admission to your various and several degrees with all the rights, privileges, and obligations appertaining thereto. Congratulations.
President Whitaker, I have the honor to present to you these scholars who have fulfilled the academic requirements of Humber Institute of Technology and Advanced Learning in their respective programs, that they may be admitted to their various and several diplomas with all of the rights, privileges, and obligations appertaining thereto.
I admit you to your various and several Humber Institute of Technology and Advanced Learning diplomas with all the rights, privileges, and obligations appertaining thereto.
Will members of the graduating class please be seated?
Thank you. Good morning, everyone. My name is George Bragas. I'm the Assistant Vice Provost here at the University of Guelph Humber. It is my honor today to be announcing the names of the graduands. We've got 4 groups graduating this morning. I would ask that you withhold your applause until the end of each group to ensure each student's name can be heard clearly. At the end of each group, we will expect some truly thunderous applause from friends and family. President and Vice Chancellor Vaccarino and President Whitaker, I have the honor to present to you these scholars from the University of Guelph Humber that they may be admitted to the degree of Bachelor of Applied Science in Family and Community Social Services Honors and the Social Service Worker Diploma. Okay, Dana. Dana Adams, with distinction. Foliemi Adewole. Marion Akale. Shanika Anderson, with distinction. Brooke Aruda, with distinction. Bibi Ashian Bax, with distinction. Lakan Bali, with distinction and the Vice Provost Award winner. Kennedy Bellhouse, with distinction. Sarah Benzel, with distinction. Brittany Benson. Vicky Bevilacqua. Chanel Bino, with distinction. Chelsea Charles. Cecile Chin, with distinction. Brianna Cofield, with distinction. Monica Cortez, with distinction. Sarah Darwish. Melissa Ann Del Prado, with distinction. Georgia Elizabeth Lucy East. Jasmine Lucetti Fijo, with distinction. Laura Fruitman, with distinction. Navneet Gill. Rochelle Gosine, with distinction. Megan Goujon, with distinction. Sarah Greer Rennick. Faith Hawley, with distinction. Amanda Hawking, with distinction. Melissa Huerto. Anna K. Samantha Hyatt. Claudia Iaboni. Jerome Johnson. Nicole Joseph. Esther Kamwanga. Catherine Kardash. Rachel Kenworthy, with distinction. Catherine Kidman. Farah Lal Mohammed. Marilia Lana. Shanique Lewis. Congratulations. Samantha Lim with distinction. Kennedy Longley with distinction. Melissa Ann Linus. Maya Maxick with distinction. Vishana Manu with distinction. Annabelle Manuel. Odange Mazame. Samantha McCabe with distinction. Kishara McCalla Benjamin. Orla McMahon with distinction. Camille Susan McWeir. Tina Ingegwe. With distinction, with distinction. Janine Nguyen. Mary Oduho. Natalia Omar with distinction. Joanna Orozco. Danielle Pacheco with distinction. Rebecca Parsad. Samantha Persad with distinction. Amy Kwan. Myrna Rahim. Chanel Ranisinger with distinction. Amanda Rudachuk. Annalisa Shiliano with distinction. Marie Cervello with distinction. Jessica Shapiro with distinction. Hazel Shatta. Zara Shiwei. Michael Smith with distinction. Sharmali Sukdio. Julia Spiro with distinction. Sarah Sperry with distinction. Mesbah Uden with distinction. Rosa Vigil. Megan Ward with distinction. Brittany Webster. Michelle Williams. Ji Yang with distinction. And that, ladies and gentlemen, was the FCSS class of 2018. President and Vice Chancellor Vaccarino and President Whitaker, I have the honor to present to you these scholars from the University of Guelph Humber that they may be admitted to the degree of Bachelor of Applied Arts in Justice Studies. Asim Ansari. Claudia Bellis Ayamundi. Michelle Briscoe Huff, with distinction. Stephanie Campos Calitri. Loredana Carnali, with distinction. Antonio Castrillon. Tanya Ferreira Moral, with distinction. Abby Frape. Rollian Gentles. Nina Goot. Hugh Hurd. Ryan Jansen. Jemima Kays. Donna McKenzie. John Margetson, with distinction. Stephen Marshall, with distinction. Scott Mitchell. Scott Morse, with distinction. Faisal Nassim. Cole Piva. Elaine Saeed, with distinction. Christy Smith, with distinction. Jim Teitler, with distinction. Brian West, with distinction. Sukhwinder Whittish, with distinction. Matthew Wood, with distinction. And that, ladies and gentlemen, was the BAA Justice Class of 2018. Mr. President and Vice Chancellor Dr. Vaccarino and President Whitaker, I have the honor to present to you these scholars from the University of Guelph Humber that they may be admitted to the degree of Bachelor of Applied Science and Justice Studies Honors and a diploma in Community and Justice Services or Police Foundations. Ahmed Suleiman Abdi. Sabrina Abreu, with distinction. Nicole Elaine. Jennifer Ancinelli. Santiago Aristizabal Ochoa. Alexander Arjun. Marissa Azrula. Alexander Barrett, with distinction. Jillian Bateman, with distinction. Ankush Batra. Anthony Bevilacqua. Colin Bowers. Sydney Branco. Dalir Brar. Harjat Brar, with distinction. Alessia Bria, with distinction. Anna Burt, with distinction. Connor Cantwell, with distinction. Bianca Caputo, with distinction. Melanie Cardona, with distinction. Alessia Cavuto, with distinction. Emily Chapman. Desiree Charles. Nicholas Chartrand. Ethan Clancy. Sarah Corden, with distinction. Maxine Cotton, with distinction. John Kovaci. Angela Sirlian. Melissa DaCosta. Parbdeep Dhaliwal. Vanessa Dineshwar. Anna Dekova. Tanisha Douglas. James Duarte Cook, with distinction. Vivek Dutta. Kerwin Elvis. Christian Emmerling. Daniela Fernandez. Ryan Fong. Daniel Ford. Gianluca Forgione. Chandashmi Gajraj. Krishna Gandhi. Avneet Gill, with distinction. Gurjinder Gill, with distinction. Jashanjot Gill. Bonnie Gillingham, with distinction. Christine Giorgio, with distinction. James Goujon, with distinction. Shauna Hall. Eric Hamilton. Adil Hanif, with distinction. Rebecca Hart. Kayla Henry. Maro Iannacci. Emilia Izmailova, with distinction. Komal Jamu. Punmeet Janjua. Savannah Joseph, with distinction. Genevieve Jung, with distinction. Hermandeep Kalay. Julian Kahn. Emma Kelly, with distinction, and the Vice Provost Award winner. Zachary Kerr. Padmini Kushan. Arthur Kulik. Tiffany Lamb. Alex Lastuka. Christian Lazaro. Nikisha Lee. Michael Lima, with distinction. Julia Lagozzo. Montana McFarlane. Kevin Machado. Lindsay Maharaj, with distinction. Sajithri Malenkoff. Baldeep Mali, with distinction. Anastasia Melissa Merrick, with distinction. Gordon Marshall. Roberto Matson. Shane McGarry, with distinction. Georgia McIntosh. Cassidy McClellan. Sajida Mehmood Hafiji. Veronica Misko. Kelly Neves. Nick Nika. Grace Parker. Alicia Pascuzzi with distinction. Hayati Patel. Stefano Pekka. Andrew Duong Fan. Eunice Perkan. Andy Quash with distinction. Navita Rajakumar. Nicholas Ram. Daria Rayagan Tafreshi. Natasha Ricagno with distinction. Brady Richards. Raneem Rumi. Natasha Ruzin. Salam Sadie. Harpreet Sahota. Fatima Saleh with distinction. Gagandeep Singh Samurai with distinction. Tonya Sanabria. Allison Sander with distinction. Amandeep Sandhu with distinction. Cassandra Santarosa. Lavinda Sasikaran. Nalini Saw with distinction. Bradley Shuton with distinction. Anissa Shabudin. Asfa Sheikh. Bharat Sharma. Samantha Shaw. Deanne Shivdial. Iqbal Singh. Kavanvir Singh. Sean Smriglio. Arjun Sodhi. Jody Somerville. Umalkar Sugal. Rizwan Syed. Allison Taminga. Christina Tatangelo. Claudia Tersini with distinction. Sukhpreet Tiwana. Brian Tran. Sansi Udiakumar. Gideon Umadat. Michelle Verwain. Royal Vong. Nicole Walker. Laura Wardle. Lindsay Waterston. Shayna Weber. Jason Westerman with distinction. Rita Yusuf. Ali Zargar Zeda. Hira Zulfikar with distinction. And that, ladies and gentlemen, was Justice Studies class of 2018. President and Vice Chancellor Vaccarino and President Whitaker, I have the honor to present to you these scholars from the University of Guelph Humber that they may be admitted to the degree of Bachelor of Applied Science in Psychology Honors and the General Arts and Science Diploma. Miriam Ibrahim. Olivia Michaela Aita. Sierra Archie. Nicholas Baliraj. Adiza Banzuela. Shane Biase. Kavita Bridgepal with distinction. Kayla Britton. Ashley Buchanan. Carolyn Kando. Michael Castillo. Christina Colati. Erica Cole. Sarah Cool, with distinction, Vice Provost Award winner. Stephanie Carazza. Karen Cornell. Madison Civitas with distinction. Malvika DaCosta with distinction. Sophia DeMello. Jessica DePiro with distinction. Jordan Diaz McGowan. Sophia Dorazio. Sandra Drozd with distinction. Laura Elliott with distinction. Erin Farrell with distinction. Tia Fernandez. Nicole Frazier with distinction. Marissa Fryer. Erica Jamarco Decimelli. Natasha Garang. Zainab Hayder. Leah Hovey. Celeste Iafredi. Kayla Jennings. Alicia Jerry. Clara Kobelik. Kevin Canhai. Lena Lamontagne. Monique Lewis. Tracy Malalawan. Emily McLaughlin. Amira McLean with distinction. Ariel McLean. Rowena Mejia with distinction. Jasmine Mempin. Zachary Merritt Masali. Eric Mahalik with distinction. Amna Mirza. Tyler DeMello. Lester Ocon. Christian Pacheco. Vanessa Pinacchio with distinction. Chantel Persad. Tahira Filbert. Brittany Pilsick. Kaylin Quinn. Amna Ali Qureshi. David Rasiopa with distinction. Annabelle Romero with distinction. Shauna Sachi with distinction. Christina Salerno. Urshida Sengupta. Jay Shaw. Justina Sidhu. Rachel Simic. Tiffany Singh. Danielle Silla. Patricia Skudlarek. Cassandra Tiaka. Serena Fandy. Nicole Tomasella. Rachel Toutant. Jose Valenzuela. Manuel Alejandro Vergara Gomez. Holly Wedderburn. Sierra White. Naveen Zeto. And that, ladies and gentlemen, was the psychology class of 2018.
John's up. Absentia.
President and Vice Chancellor Dr. Vaccarino and President Whitaker, I would ask that you confer the various and several degrees and diplomas on the graduates listed in the program but unable to be present at this ceremony.
By virtue of the authority vested in me and in the University of Guelph, I confer the various and several degrees in absentia on the graduates not present.
By virtue of the authority vested in me, I confer the various and several diplomas in absentia on the graduands not present today.
Well, graduates, you did it. Congratulations. Well done. And I'm very conscious that I stand between you and your celebration. So, following convocation, a light reception will be held for our new alumni and their guests in the foyer. I encourage everyone to attend. This is an opportunity really to congratulate our new members of the alumni family, and we do hope that you all can join us. And now, 3 words, convocation is dismissed. Well done.